Hello, everybody, and welcome into another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing the Toxic Avenger. No, not the 85 Toxic Avenger. We're talking about 2025. 40 goddamn years later. We're going to talk about it. I have a lot of thoughts. For joining me first up from Manhattan, New York City, please welcome John Schnars to the show.
We're right next to Tromaville. It's like
goddamn
Tromaville
right,
Jr.
you are
over here.
Yeah. Next up tonight from what do they call Utah?
I don't know. Good question.
The Beehive State.
Oh yeah,
it is.
There
It's
are
the Beehive State.
Well, what do they call? Oh, okay. Are you in Salt Lake?
Technically, she'd be a Ute, wouldn't she?
Got it. From the Great Salt Lake, please welcome Ariel to the show.
Hello.
And last up tonight from Indiana, please welcome Casey to the show.
Hello.
I have many thoughts about this film, and almost none of them have to do with the actual movie itself.
Okay.
I have many philosophical thoughts.
I mostly agree with you.
Many philosophical thoughts about the actual idea of remaking a trauma film in 2025, and less thoughts on the final product itself, but we'll talk about it. All right. Let's take a quick break and review The Toxic Avenger.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
John, I just want to remind folks that that sweet new BGH theme can be listened to on all streaming platforms. It is called Haddonfield. It's by Hi-Fi, HY-FY. That is me, John. And
I heard you got it on the Tidal. A streaming
and Spotify.
Platform no one even knew existed anymore.
I have a Tidal subscription.
There you go. And John, Spotify has, speaking of Tidal,
Nice.
Spotify finally has lossless playback. So you can go change that in your settings and then listen to Haddonfield in all its glory.
I'm
I
pretty
listened
sure
to it today and I
Tidal
was
has
like,
had lossless playback from the beginning.
that was called a segue, John, because like, you know what I'm saying? I was using one thing to talk about.
I see.
You're a CEO, John.
Did you? We didn't even talk about the fact that by the time people hear this, they've hopefully already listened to the special bonus episode of Bloody Good Horror.
That's right. That's right.
Eric's return to journalism. I would call it.
Yes. I would not call anything involving movies journalism. That's a personal view, John. It's definitely writing. It's definitely
or in your case,
literary.
talking.
But journalism, I would consider maybe something else. Yeah. But yeah, it turns out like you want me to interview somebody, I'm coming with my own agenda, and we're gonna talk about movies. American movie.
Great. Yeah.
We talk about American movie for good 20 minutes with the crew behind Dream Eater.
Nice.
Now in theaters, we should say.
If you're hearing this, it is in theaters.
Yeah. No, it was great. I did strong arm you into doing it, and I appreciate it. And I think the team they had a great time, and I think you even would say you had a good time.
I had an amazing time. You didn't strong arm me, John. You just asked nicely. That's all it takes. You buttered me up, and then you came with the ask, and I was like, anything for you, Schnars.
We did it. Yeah. Do you want a word tonight, or what do we think?
How
Yes.
did the words work?
Sorry, I just got distracted. Hold on, we got to talk about this. I just got distracted. Rob Nelson apparently on our live stream just got served an ICE ad. Wow. Which is a bummer.
No, they're saying on Tidal that you're trying. People join that to get away from Spotify ICE ads.
Thank
yeah.
There you go.
Interesting.
Otherwise, that would be very upsetting. Yeah.
There you go. Title. Gave me a heart attack, Rob. Thanks. Should have read all the
ICE is
comments.
advertising. They're like on football games now. Like they're spending a lot of
Gross.
money advertising. So
Insanity. Hey, John. On to happier things. Please bring us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word. Tumescent. That's Tumecent. Tumescent. Tumescent. Swollen or becoming swollen. Especially as
you
a
dirty
response-
dog. Stein.
Look, especially as a response to sexual arousal. That's the definition. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
And sorry, my there we go. Especially of language or literary style, pompous or pretentious. I like that. I've never seen that. Comes to us from the Latin tumere, to swell. So this
That's
is one
because
of
you have
those
to
words
be.
that's-
That's because you have to be married first, right?
yeah. It's just like straight Latin that has made it all the way into English.
Yeah,
So
love it. John, please tell me about 2025's The Toxic Avenger.
there really is a lot to tell. I know a little bit of, because I've read and followed a little bit. This is been winding its way through the universe for a little while. So Macon Blair wrote and directed. Our old buddy Lloyd gets a writing credit here, and then there's a third writer, Joe Ritter. I didn't have a chance to look. Is he from the
Was
original?
Lloyd's credit just like characters by or something like that? I presume.
Well, so both Lloyd Kaufman and Joe Ritter are the original writers, and I don't know if
Right.
they just got the credit here because it's basically
That usually
like a
that's
Yeah.
how, like original screenplay or something.
remake. No, it's makes sense. But Macon Blair, I mean, I don't know if that name is tracking for other folks. He was in and sort of I think is buddies with Jeremy Solnire, Blue Ruin. I sort of like know him more as an actor.
Is this Elijah Wood's like production company?
No. This was
Okay,
Legendary.
he's just in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
Got it. Okay.
But so Macon Blair, I don't think we covered it on the pod, but he had a Netflix movie called I Don't Want to Live in This World Anymore or something like that. That was like
Sounds familiar.
sort of
Sounds like
dark
a thing.
comedy crime thing. In any event, I like Macon Blair. And like if someone was going to do this, like he does strike me as the person sort of makes sense to the extent anyone makes sense. That's not Lloyd Kaufman, I guess. So the remake here, we have Peter Dinklage as the main character. And I'm just going to put my cards on the table now. I've never sat down and watched Toxic Avenger end to end. I'm clearly familiar. I've like been to horror conventions where there's always a trauma booth. I've seen some other trauma stuff.
Would it surprise you to know I know an awful lot about Toxic Avenger as a series, John?
No, wouldn't surprise me at any. You went deep on
can
trauma, I
enlighten.
feel like, for a little while. Yeah. So I'll be curious,
Deep.
like how straight of a remake this is versus not. I mean,
None at all. It's not at all a remake.
Yeah.
Like in
they
the
just
sense
made
that
it's a whole new story.
in the sense that a man
Yeah.
becomes toxic and then enacts revenge.
And he's
That's
got a goofy eye.
literally-
Yeah.
And like and once or twice like happens upon a crime and saves people. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, so
And
that
there's like
man-
a guy gets his head run over at some point. That's like the big well-known gag from the first one is they shot a head run over gag with like a watermelon. That's like a big
nice.
thing from the original Toxic Avenger.
I think they spent as much on the gag in this movie as they probably spent making the entire original Toxic Avenger film. The quick background, because I mentioned it. So this was made by Legendary. I believe what I read is that they made it for $20 million. That was the production budget.
I think that's where you've gone wrong already, in my opinion.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I thought you were saying I was wrong. But
If you're making
No.
Toxic, if you're
You're fine,
making
John.
Toxic Avenger for more than like $20, then you're not doing it right.
Well,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So they made it. Legendary basically decided they didn't want to release it, and they then sold it to Cineverse, and Cineverse released it. So that's where there's a lot of cards on the front of this movie. That's sort of the backstory there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so Peter Dinklage is the Toxic Avenger. There's like a pretty convoluted bad guy plot where you have what's his Kevin Bacon as sort of the evil CEO running this company that creates the toxic ooze. There's also like mobsters that he's working with.
It's so funny because I didn't know Kevin Bacon was in this, and I was just talking about him yesterday and how him and his wife lost all their money to Bernie Madoff. And then I was like, then I see him in the, because there's that big
gone over
document
that in the past.
Oh yeah, many times. But there's that documentary, Crystal Lake Memories, that like huge fan documentary about Friday the 13th. He's like one of the only people that wouldn't sit for an interview for it. But he'll be in this, and I just can't like connect those dots. And like, if you're willing to be in the Toxic Avenger, just sit for the documentary, brother. Like, they'll pay you. Come on.
If the production budget on this was $20 million, like, it's a non-trivial amount of money that he was getting paid. Like, I'll just venture to guess.
Like, I want him to talk about his Speedo in that movie.
You know? I think everybody wants that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned already Elijah Wood. He plays the brother of
he's
Kevin
fully doing Danny DeVito in Batman Returns.
Yeah, the Penguin, absolutely. Like if the Penguin was also Igor.
It was absolutely an homage. Like there's no way it wasn't.
I mean, you already kind of gave the plot. He turns in, so Peter Dinklage has like a brain tumor, so he thinks he's going to die, but he can't get the treatment that he needs because his health insurance is bad. So then he goes to his boss, who is Kevin Bacon, because he's a janitor at this factory. And when Kevin Bacon won't help him, he then goes to like basically steal the money, but instead turns it into a grotesque.
Right. Now, the original film, and this is where it's interesting because this is really important. Like the original film is really more about like pollution, environmental thing, and that's a thread that Kaufman ties through many of his films, right up to Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. But this is a Luigi movie. Like this is a
kind of
healthcare robber baron, like
Big
which
Pharma.
makes it interesting as a modern piece of cinema, I think.
I like that we're just on single name now with Luigi Mangione.
Oh, everyone knows what I'm talking about. Not a single person was confused.
There's Mario and Luigi. Like
No,
it's
there's just Luigi.
Sure, John.
stuff. Yeah.
Ariel, what'd you think? And if
Okay,
you have any
so-
thoughts on the first one, hit me.
Okay, so I'm gonna first off have to admit like a lack of horror cred here and say that I've never seen the first one all the way through, and I don't know that much about Trauma. I mean, like I know about it, but I haven't seen like a ton of the movies. I think I've only seen Tromeo and Juliet and Poltergeist. I'm pretty sure those are the only ones I've actually watched. So
I love Romeo and Juliet so much.
yeah. So I'm not well versed, but I do love a low budget like raunchy gore fest, so I probably should go back and watch some more of them. But anyway, so I came into this like pretty blind. I know the basics of the Toxic Avenger and I've seen like clips from it, but that's about it. And I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't going to have a good time. It's always like sus with a remake this far in advance or whatever, but I had a surprisingly good time. This is not a great movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. I think that Peter Dinklage is really entertaining and like surprisingly gives a really heartfelt performance, especially in the beginning where he's like
he's acting the shit out of this role.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I also have to say that his hair in this movie made me realize like Peter Dinklage is never not hot. It doesn't matter what his hair looks like.
He's a good looking gentleman. I'll give you
The
that.
same is not true for Kevin Bacon because that wig is bad.
Kevin Bacon has terrible hair, and it's like kind of intentional in this movie.
Yeah.
But even when it's not intentional, he has bad hair in every movie he's ever been in, and it's really bizarre.
It's true. He almost
Yeah.
always
Whether it's his
does,
hair
right.
or fake hair, like they're doing him dirty every
Yeah.
time.
But like all I really knew going into this remake was that Peter Dinklage was in it. I didn't know any of the other people were there. So when Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood showed up, I was, like pleasantly surprised. I love that Elijah Wood is having this like second career where he's like, I made all my money. Now I'm just going to play weird little guys all the time.
He makes it for me in a lot of ways. I could have used more.
Uncut Lord of the Rings
Yes.
money.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he and Daniel Radcliffe have both been kind of doing that same thing, I loved the gore. I wish there was more practical effects and less reliant on pretty bad CGI. But the gore that's there is fun. I wish that little animatronic bird had been in the movie more. In fact, I think it needs its own spin-off because it was great.
I did like the bird.
Yeah. I personally loved all the commentary about health insurance. I'm a caretaker for a couple family members who've been doing it for over a decade.
Certainly relevant, yeah.
And yeah, not only is it like culturally relevant right now, but if you've ever spent any time having to like fight for things to get covered with a health insurance company, the parts of this movie that cover that could seem over the top if you haven't, but if you have, it felt so accurate and so real. I felt myself getting anxious. I'm like, I've had so many conversations on the phone with health insurance companies the exact same way he did, and like, it's not an exaggeration. That shit, it will drive you insane because it's so stupid and inhumane. So I thought that was great. There are definitely some issues with this movie, and we can talk about it as we get into spoilers. I won't monopolize all the time, but ultimately I had a good time. So,
Casey.
Yeah, so I am a huge fan of the original. I mean, that was like one of my first forays as a young man into weird cinema as I started discovering horror and stuff like that. So it's always meant a lot to me. I've followed Troma forever. And so I've been excited for this one. I didn't know what to expect. I really love Peter Dinklage. I think he's a great actor. I really like Elijah Wood, so I was excited to see him in this. And I kind of forgot about the rest of the cast. I like this movie a lot. By the time I got to the end to it, I didn't love it like I'd hoped to. Like Ariel said, there's some issues here. They do a lot of things good here. I think the DNA of Troma and Toxic Avenger are here. The way they do some of the kill gags and some of the jokes, and obviously the makeup, the spirit of the story is there. The roots of the original Toxie, they're there. And I think they did a great job paying homage and making it their own. I really appreciate that. I think there's some pacing issues in those in-between scenes because like the kills and stuff were suitably over the top and crazy coming.
Did we lose Casey?
I didn't know if it was me or what.
Yeah,
but...
he's frozen for me.
Okay. Shall I jump in?
Sure.
There I am.
Oh, there he is.
We got you.
Yes. Sorry, everything started spinning. And I forgot where I left off.
You were saying it was suitably crazy. However,
Yeah.
there were pacing issues.
Yeah, there's some pacing issues in there. Those scenes in between the crazy bits and the good parts that we come to look for in a Troma movie, I felt were kind of some of them felt stilted and didn't have quite that punk rock flair that Troma's known for and that we fell in love with. They were never like, that was never Shakespeare. It was never, glorious dialogue or anything like that. But they had a certain pattern and a flow to them, which to me didn't come across here in those in-between scenes, which made this feel a little bit long. Other than that, I liked it. I think it was a good homage. I really love the cast in this, and the surprises that came up. I was surprised by Jacob Tremblay. I had forgotten all about that kid, and to see how much he'd grown, I was like, holy shit. And then I looked it up because this was actually made in like 23, and so he looks even more different now. So that was a fun rabbit hole to fall down into. And I love Kevin Bacon in this. The dude is chewing Cedry.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to watch. He's having a good time. I'd forgotten he was in this too, and I love the way we heard him off screen firsthand, and you're like, oh shit, that's Kevin Bacon, just from his voice and and the way we rolled. So
What a weird career he's had the last couple of years. Schnapps, what'd you think?
I went in with very low expectations, and they were exceeded, is what I would say. It was definitely more fun than I was. I guess it's probably, I shouldn't have been surprised, but I guess the thing that surprised me the most is like how much it did feel like a Troma movie. And I'm not a student of Troma, but like the gags.
They were trying to capture the essence. I'll give them that for sure.
The humor here is very reminiscent. I mean, it's as Casey said, it's an homage. Like the gags, like a lot of the sort of like wordplay or like language, like the way the jokes are kind of peppered in. There's a lot of people who like say shit under their breath kind of stuff. And, you know, there's so many jokes that are in the background audio that you sort of have
love
to be
that.
listening for.
Yeah.
There were other jokes like, so that is both the good and the bad. Like some of the shit with the, when there's this whole bit about whenever the doctor is explaining to him what disease he has, there's like a jackhammering that's happening outside.
Yes.
You know, it didn't work for me, and I didn't care for it, and it is what it is.
I kind of agree. Especially because they do it. I thought it was funnier on the callback at the end. At the beginning, I was still waiting for this movie to win me over. So I was just like,
And you're like, wait,
"It's not
why
gonna
are
do
you
it."
jackhammering in my ear right now? So yeah. I mean, look, like I sort of agree with what Casey and Ariel were saying. Like, there's a lot of problems. I believe a lot of what ended up getting reshot when Legendary sold the film is like the added gore. And Ariel, you sort of referenced like it looks a little CGI'd in.
Too much gore CGI shit for sure.
Well, I think it just was done. That was like added in because when this was released, it was released as unrated, and that was sort of the pitch they were making. Is like, you know, it's Toxic Avenger, it's unrated.
I rolled my eyes when I saw that because like you're going to streaming, you don't need a fucking rating, bro. Like,
No, well, it went to theaters.
Okay.
They gave this at a theatrical release, so
5.
that's- No, I mean, I'd have to go look what it did, but it was probably in 1,000.
Didn't Terrifier
screens.
though,
Okay.
or one of the Terrifier movies go to theaters?
They were
without
unrated.
a
Yeah.
rating?
Yeah.
That was unrated.
I mean,
That was the big deal about that
I-
movie making so much money. Is it
True.
broke
I
broke
think-
records for unrated movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the like trauma pedigree, I had expected like more gore and more raunch and like some nudity and stuff. And I think other than that peeing joke, there's very little like raunchiness in
Well,
this
it's part of
film.
the
I was
challenge here. Like, you can make a movie in the spirit of trauma in 2025, and you can make
Yeah.
a movie that's over the top, gory and violent. But like, you can't exactly make a trauma movie in 2025.
Yeah,
No,
you gotta be
not the
careful
way
with
they
some of
used
those
to.
jokes.
It's got to be a little different, and you can feel them trying to find where that line is.
There,
for sure.
I actually did one of the laughs that got out of me was when it did the flasher joke and like there's like the two girls they're like flashing the band and then it's like a dude with his
Yeah.
tongue out just swinging it. I was
But
I
even that
laughed.
just felt like, oh, here's like a little token nudity. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
my man
Well,
Lloyd
it-
Kaufman would have done this differently.
Yeah.
No,
pretend
but
it's a
and
throne.
Eric, I assume this is sort of the direction you were heading. Like, the thing that was so baffling to me is like this movie looks pretty good. Like, I like Megan Blair. I actually think he knows what he's doing. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
he like scenes are well shot. There are definitely pacing issues.
And that's fine. I just find that bizarre. I just find this whole exercise to be bizarre, frankly.
It there's like a cognitive dissonance that like sort of
Yeah.
creeps in here. It's so yeah. I liked Peter Dinklage. I think it's still like, and maybe this. I think this is part of the joke is like the original Toxie's huge, right? Like he's a big guy, and Peter Dinklage
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a small person, and like even when he gets toxied out, he's like a big small person.
He's bulky.
Well, it's played by somebody else. When
It's a-
he's in
it's
Oh,
a
is it?
woman,
Okay.
actually.
I kind of
It's a-
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
kinda
woman
thought,
in the.
But
scene.
not, he's still not like a full sized.
Yeah.
No.
He
I
becomes
think
like
it
my
works.
size.
I thought it worked.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'm pretty on board with most of what you guys are saying. Like I'm gonna put my feelings on like remaking the Toxic Avenger side, which we'll get to. But from the moment I heard they were doing this, I just was like, nah. Like I don't.
it's
and I had a
also
lot of
not-
people reach out to me and be like, dude, you must be so excited for this. And I'm like, no, I'm not, for a lot of reasons. But watching it, it finally kind of all. Go ahead, John. It just
Well,
coalesced.
I was going to
for
say
me a
it's
little
not
bit.
it's not huge IP. Like if I asked my like
We're just
sister-
scraping the barrel for IP at this
Right.
point. Like
and
that's what's
to-
happening.
to spend the money that they spend and to make this version of the movie. That's what's so bizarre to me, But sorry,
and
go ahead.
and,
Well,
and
and
they
then-
this story came out years ago that they sold
Yeah.
these rights, and I think at the time people were saying like, well, maybe this will kind of fund the next real trauma movie, right? But like, I don't know. I'm Lloyd Kaufman. I don't think he's making.
Because they actually sold it like
movies at this
7 or
point.
8 years ago, didn't they?
It was a long time ago. I
Been
remember
been,
hearing about
yeah,
this for a
for
long
them to
time
make
ago.
it,
Yeah. The actual movie, okay, so like to be clear, I have very old man / Eric thoughts about this that I am gonna pontificate on because that's literally why I have a podcast, John. But the movie itself, like I'm not gonna hate on it. I think to everybody's point, they do a decent enough job of approximating that kind of trauma tone and vibe, at least like tweaked for modern sensibilities a little bit. I do agree it's kind of nice, like Dinklage, for whatever you think of his performance, like he is giving it his all in this. Like he really put himself into this in a way I enjoy. It's really the Elijah Wood of it all that makes it for me. Like I actually think there's moments of this movie where I probably would have checked out, but he's another one that's just, he's having so much fun and he's really putting himself into it. And I really enjoyed that. And we've all talked about it. Like, first of all, you know, I love a short king, John. Even better if you're like a little weirdo. That's like my kind of people. And we've all talked about enjoying his kind of renaissance as just a person that is going and doing what he wants to in Hollywood. And that's really cool. So it's fun seeing him. He's 100% doing Danny DeVito in Batman Returns. I love it. You know, yeah, so like it's fine is my ultimate. This is an it's fine from Eric. It made me laugh a few times. Do I think it's like full of knee slappers? Not particularly.
I think if I was like 4 beers in, I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
A crowd.
seeing
This
it
is a
in a
crowd
crowded
movie,
theater.
probably.
Yeah,
like
I think a crowd would definitely.
You
If
catch
I
this
was
at a
also 4
convention.
beers in.
You know, you catch this at a convention or film festival, like it could definitely
Yeah,
be a
fair.
vibe for sure. But I think like John, you use the word cognitive dissonance. It's so perfect for me because like, and I understand too, like not everybody goes as deep with trauma as I do. Totally understand that. What I fell in love with about trauma is it's really sort of like who Lloyd Kaufman is, or at least who he presents himself to the film world as, which is just this weird, brash, quirky little fella who is just this fierce independent artist. And like he's always framed it. And I interviewed him now 23 years ago at this point. I interviewed him around the time Citizen Toxic came out, which was the last real Toxic Avenger movie, is part 4. And that had been a labor of love for years. The previous sequel had come out in the early 90s. Been a long time to like get the money going.
That's the one where he like runs for office, doesn't he? Like, it's like
Yeah, there's a there's a subplot about that. You know, and I really like in speaking to him and interviewing him, really just became enamored with him as this person. Like, trauma was born out of the sort of slow waning of independent cinema in the 80s and Hollywood becoming more corporate. They were kept alive for decades by rabid fans who so he's written a couple books. One of them is Make Your Own Damn Movie. That was his first one. And it's like a step-by-step guide. Like, you want to make a movie with fucking nothing? Here's how you do it. And it's literally like feeding your crew with like thrown out bread from the grocery store and like government cheese blocks. And he talks about like, make sure you bring paper bags for people to shit in on set because like you're going to be stealing these locations and not getting permits and you may not have a bathroom. And like, it's funny, but he's also being dead ass serious, right? And for a generation, trauma films got made by people that would fucking travel from all over the country and sleep on a floor for a couple weeks to go be an unpaid PA on this movie. Now, that is the lore of Lloyd Kaufman and trauma, and part of that is self-made. And assuredly, somewhere along the line, it's probably easy to make the argument like people are being taken advantage of at some point, right? Or like, but he has
Lloyd
just become...
Kaufman had like American cheese and he was getting them the government cheese.
Well, but no, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be like too navel gazing about it. Like, there's probably a reality there too that's not quite as rose. Like I'm talking about the image of it, right? Because I think it's very compelling. And
I don't say this as slander, but it's very carnival faced.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And the best thing, and I've said this for years, they would release those movies with First of all, like they were early adopters of DVD. At the time, I remember Lloyd Kaufman, like file sharing was getting really big. The Napster lawsuits were happening. And he said to me like right now, he's like, I can't distribute my movies in Russia, but somebody can download them And if they download one of my movies and I make a fan for life, like that helps us. So he was a supporter of like BitTorrent back in the day when that was like very, don't fucking do that. You know what I mean? It's still a hot button issue, obviously, with independent filmmakers, and I understand the opposite point of view as well. But I think he's always presented himself as kind of this like man of the horror people. John, it's funny. I was talking about pre-show, like I don't know if you remember this detail that he was married for like 20 years. He's still married, but his wife was the like president of the New York State Film Association or something for like 20 years.
I didn't know that.
And so like if you want to make a movie in New York somewhere, like you had to go through her and her people. And there was always something really funny to that about me, that like I always had this image in my head of bringing him to industry events and having to like schmooze with Lloyd Kaufman. I just find that like delightful. But like, so I guess my overall point, and I could like wax poetic about this for a long time, but like trauma is not just a tone. It's not just gore and nudity and goofy jokes. It's like, it's an ethos. And like, it was also punk rock in a sense of like, they started growing and becoming popular at a time when Hollywood censorship was rising in the late 80s. Into the 90s, right? Like their struggle was they were having trouble getting their movies into Blockbuster because Blockbuster wanted to censor stuff and like they wouldn't do it. So there's always been this sense of like I think it's hard for people who weren't around then to understand now. Putting this much violence in your movies used to be like a countercultural act. Like you were bucking the norms, you were like pushing back against an increasingly repressive society. I don't think a kid nowadays would even understand that. I think this would just be looked at like as like edgelord stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at it that way.
Repression happening now, but
yeah, no, for sure. But the repression that doesn't happen now that we dealt with when we were kids was repression of extreme expression of like silly shit, like violence in movies and nudity and swearing and like
putting your hand in someone's butt and like pulling out their
right. That's
organs.
silly and ridiculous, but it's got Tipper Gore in a tizzy in 1996. You know what I'm saying?
Did
like,
Tipper Gore really go after trauma?
She was the one who was railing against the recording industry and like
No, that I remember for sure.
no,
she
but
didn't go after trauma,
they were
but
the MPAA and like censorship, like they were involved in movies and stuff.
she was leading the charge.
She was music was the bigger thing for sure, but so I guess my point is that like I think the idea of a movie this violent is probably bizarre to a younger person because it's just hard to understand. I think this way a lot about like, you know, you talk about horror section, John, like Cabin Fever was a movie to me very in direct fight against the MPAA just clamping down on violence in movies for 10 years before that, right? That those movies, Rob Zombie, that stuff was counterculture in a way that it just we're not fighting the same battles now. And so you lose the Lloyd Kaufman of it, you lose the ethos of it, you lose the sort of like punk rock thing of it. And it's like I don't know why we're here. That's my thing. It's like to me, and I understand my viewpoint on this is unique because I'm just so close to that other stuff. But it feels, although I give these guys so much credit for paying homage to that trauma thing, $20 million, like you're never gonna recreate the spirit of what it actually is, and then it ends up feeling hollow to me. So I can sit through it and say, this is decent, like this is fun, but it's like it's forgettable to me in a way that those other movies just stay. You will never fucking forget Romeo and Juliet as long as you live, John, after you see it.
I
You know what I'm saying?
That's accurate.
I still remember you making me watch it. So
I did make you watch it, didn't I?
Yeah.
it was like the 10th episode of the podcast, I think. It was almost me quitting.
That was one of my
I'm
finest.
pretty sure,
that was Mark's a big Romeo and Juliet fan too.
I mean, from an extension, what you're talking about, I remember vividly from when they first announced that Lloyd had sold Trauma to whoever had bought it at that time. There was a lot of speculation coming out from the people that bought it, and there was talk about, they might turn him into some kind of environmental superhero. And there was talk of maybe a TV show or something like that. So I agree 100% with what Eric was saying, but in my mind, my hope was with that sale is that we would get something new involving Toxie, be it a cartoon, a good cartoon, or, a video games or whatever, some kind of new media instead of just a redo of the original movie.
Well,
Well,
a
and,
reboot.
and all they did was sell the remake rights. Like Troma still owns the rights. So
Oh,
it's not
they
even
do?
like anything else. They would be a ownership of, like, they could sell it to someone else. But this was it's like a Platinum Dunes thing. Like they're like,
Okay.
you can go make one of these, and then John, I don't know the way this would work. Like probably
I didn't
maybe a
realize it was that
possibility,
kind of deal.
maybe a possibility to extend it after a certain amount of time or whatever.
Well,
But yeah.
or in success, like you just go back and say, look, like let's all make more money together. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know anything other than sort of the legendary and then the Cineverse piece of it. But
Yeah.
the other thing, and like I'm actually curious, like, and maybe Casey's the one. There's an element of what Toxic Avenger is that it's also sort of playing with the superhero tropes and myths and
Oh,
so forth.
yeah.
And we obviously live in a universe where we are on the like very tail end of a superhero cycle.
Yeah.
That, you know, something like this, it doesn't feel that sort of fresh or edgy in a world where
Because there's
the-
been edgy superhero. There's
Yeah.
Homelander and like
the,
Right,
the
exactly.
boys exactly like there's
We
so
are
many
full of
things-
anti-heroes, and
Correct.
Toxie was the original like big screen anti-hero, and that's why he's fun. Now he just feels like a C grade hero.
And that's kind of what I mean. Like, I dig that. I dig the perspective shift of like, okay, we're talking about health insurance. Obviously, that feels relevant. But
Yeah.
what I would have loved to seen is a little more of a reimagination of the movie itself, like how to make that relevant to today. But also, like, maybe we don't have to fucking remake the Toxic Avenger. I think. It's
Well,
actually-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the thing about all movies. But I agree with you. Like, if you take away that kind of punk rock spirit, if you take away the fact that these were made on like a shoestring budget in response to what was happening in the culture at the time, you're not left with a whole lot other than just people's like nostalgia for the character itself. And I don't know if that's enough to warrant making the movie. And I think that it is interesting to like switch up the themes a little bit to be about health insurance. But I also don't think this movie said anything new or revolutionary about that or took
Right.
it far enough to like
No.
be really important commentary either.
I mean-
so then again, it's like, why? You know?
What I have to know is because based on the timing, they probably had this written before all that shit.
Well, because it was.
happened.
Oh yeah,
we
it was
finished
long,
it in, like,
long before
a
that.
couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
So,
Eric,
So it was
healthcare-
shot even before that happened.
Healthcare
No,
has been
John.
an issue.
Yeah, but I,
Take it easy,
you
John. I
for
was going to
that
come onto this show and make a joke about if this made you nervous as a CEO.
IMDb list has the date on this is 23, so
Yeah.
that's when it was
Yeah.
shelved.
yeah. And I mean, it even made a joke that was kind of like the Cracker Barrel sign debacle of what, a month or two ago. But obviously, this came way before that, you know?
Yeah.
You know what my
It
favorite
does.
joke?
It
maybe
makes
well,
me wonder though if like that all happened and they were like,
Oh, let's add it in.
"Is this good for us?" Like,
Yeah.
it's like, let's go. Should we rename him? I think my favorite, like I was talking about how there's all the like background jokes or like sort of, there's a lot of scenes where there's just people at one point, but I think it's the first time you like see Toxic Avenger like rip that dude's arm off. And people
Yeah.
show up and they're like,
that's a good.
Oh,
I like that.
are we doing a mob? Hey, you guys, like the guys
Yeah.
show up and they're like in the truck. Hey, you guys doing a mob? I was
So-
that
I know,
guy.
and then the cop gets into it too.
Yeah.
It starts like
It is
shooting in there, like, oh, it's a
occasionally.
mob.
It's occasionally funny, and some of the gags are good. How did we
I
feel
lo-
about the ICP inspiration here?
They were funny.
They were fun. I have a
That
question
feels. I'm gonna
about
be
that,
honest with
though.
you. Like cracking jokes about like the gathering of the Juggalos does feel a little dated to me at this point.
Little bit.
I feel like we
think they're
moved
still
on
out.
as a society.
It
They
does,
are.
but
They're
at the
still
same
doing it.
time, it does feel trauma.
Were they a musical act? I don't
know
Like, is
that
that a
I think they
real-
were
I don't-
supposed to be like a band too, right?
You mean in real life, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is that is the
No,
the
I don't
guy
I don't
who's in
know.
the
I don't
mask?
think
Okay.
it is. I honestly don't know.
Okay,
That's
when
adorable if
when
you
that
asked that, I
bad
love
guy
that.
takes his chicken head mask off and he has a
Mm-hmm.
little weird baby head underneath, what was happening there?
That's
What was
trauma.
that?
Don't.
That is
know.
trauma jokery.
just that
That's a good.
randomness?
They had random shit
But is
like
that,
people
like-
with baby heads, giant
is
dudes
that,
with baby
like-
heads.
Okay.
But was he? Well, my question was, okay, was he mutated?
That's what I was
assumed He
wondering.
was, he was mutated by the.
Because somebody's made a crack about like, did we go
BGH or
too
whatever.
far or something like that,
Yeah,
Okay.
right?
I think so.
I don't know.
But it was 100% a mutation joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
My other con about this is that we get this like side character played by Taylor Page. I think the character's name is JJ or something. And
the
movie
wild card.
Yeah, the movie starts off with the wild card like seeking revenge, right? Doing all of this stuff, but it kind of felt to me like they just let her plot line just kind of like fade into the background and fall off, and nothing really ever happens with it, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
She becomes sidekick at a
Yeah.
certain point, and just, you know, it is what it is. Although she does get to turn the key to start the car when Kevin Bacon gets killed.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah. His transformation was interesting too, with like the horns and stuff.
Yeah.
It was,
One
I guess
day-
it's kind of, he did Maxine last year too, in a similar kind of vibe, villain
Right.
vibe.
Right.
Yes, that's right.
One thing I did love with this movie that I think they nailed was Peter Dinklage's transformation. I love the animation of that. I thought that whole animation was cool. It
One
felt like
thing-
something out of the Phil Tippett movie, Mad God. It
Mad
felt like
God.
something related to
Right.
that.
Yeah, I can see that.
One of the I do think there's too much CGI gore, like what are we doing? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do. I like that they built the mask in a way, and the makeup in a way that gave the act. I guess it's not Dinklage, right? But gave the actor the ability to kind of emote pretty well. Like the original Toxie mask is such a rubber mask kind of a situation that you lose that. But obviously, like, we're not, subtle acting was not the play there. But
See, that's funny you mentioned that, because I watched this with Colleen and we didn't know that that wasn't Peter Dinklage in the makeup. But at one point she said they did a really great job on the makeup, that Peter Dinklage can emote so well because he's so good at
100%.
emoting.
Yeah, you notice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's whoever this person was also. Although I wonder if maybe he did close-ups or
He might
there
have.
are there are some.
Maybe. I mean,
Or
it's
they
his
modeled the
voice,
animations
yeah.
after it.
I just assumed they sort of made the mask look a certain way, but
An interesting like footnote of like Toxic Avenger like kind of history. So they make the original one, and he told me this years ago. I wish I could find this interview. I have it somewhere. I talked to him for like 2 hours. Actually, I have it on a mini cassette tape. John, you remember mini cassette tapes?
Holy shit.
But and I can't play them, and I don't know if it's because my player is broken or if the tape is just fused together after 24 years. But
you could send that off. You could probably
imagine hearing
take an
college
AI.
Eric. Imagine hearing college Eric interviewing Lloyd Kaufman. I should try to make that. I should try to make that happen. But he kind of explained that like he basically went and found Japanese investors when he wanted to go make sequels, and they put up like a lot of the money to make 2 and 3. And I believe they may have even been shot in Japan, or they just put up the money. But basically, because they put up so much money, he had to kind of like work with them on the content. And so he's sort of disappointed in 2 and 3 because he felt like they didn't really match the spirit of the original.
Too Japanese.
Well, they introduced the character John, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD.
Yeah.
I remember.
But who
boy.
then had his own. He had his own movie. Or
there was
movies at some
I
point.
know, he had at least one.
But so then, like, when he came back in the early 2000s with Citizen Talks, I think it was like 01 or something, it hit theaters. He felt like that was kind of his chance to make that right, to like make the sequel he kind of always wanted to make.
Okay.
Yeah, that cracks me up
And a
because it
big-
gave me a memory. Toxic. Sorry, I was cutting
no.
out there again.
You're good. You're good.
I was gonna say that gives me a great memory. My first trauma movie was Toxie, and then as I went to explore and find more trauma movies, I came across Kabuki Man, and that was trauma. Toxie. I was fine with, but Kabuki Man, I was like, what the hell is this?
And don't forget, John, a big part of. So there was the 80s sort of trauma stuff. That really was like Toxic Avenger and like Class of Nukem High and all that stuff. There was the resurgence kind of in the early to mid to late 90s, which is where James Gunn was like involved in like a massive part.
I always
It
forget
was like
that.
James Gunn, a guy named Trent Haga, who went on to, he's still working in Hollywood. I don't know what he does now. He did a lot of stuff with Full Moon after that. And then Will Keenan. Those were 3 guys were kind of like the heart of trauma with Kaufman in
Pam from The Office
the
too.
90s.
Oh, really? She was.
Jenna Fisher, that's where she met James Gunn originally.
Is that where they met? Interesting.
Wow.
Let me see what I'm curious what.
I
Trent
think
Hag
she
is up
worked
to these
there,
days.
but I think she worked there, but that's when she was dating Gunn in that era.
What year is the original Toxie? Like 83?
I believe it's 85. Oh, Trent Hager wrote Cheap Thrills. Oh, well,
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Let's see. Let's look it up.
Cheap Thrills was a fun
Everybody
one.
stand by. Eric's typing.
84. I was a year off. 1984.
All right, I was close.
Yeah. Troma was just cool, man. I really like, if you're into independent filmmaking, I cannot recommend enough grabbing those DVDs and Blu-rays and watching those documentaries. They're just so very inspiring and like fun to watch and also just like ridiculous.
Yeah, certainly ridiculous. You could also just show up at a con and like talk to Lloyd Kaufman for 45 minutes, probably, if you wanted.
He will sit at his booth till to this day. We saw him last year.
Yeah.
And sign stuff for free for hours in a way that I have been told pisses off
Yeah.
other celebrity con attendees that he's giving out the milk for free. But again, that's the Lloyd Kaufman thing and why he might be the only person that get away with it because he's just so fucking charming. And
No,
like,
look,
such an elder
salute the
statesman
game.
of horror at this point.
I'll still never forget that night that with that horror hound we were at when somebody dropped him off at the front of the hotel at like 2 a.m. and he was having a good night.
Was that one of the back in the day ones we went? Like
Yeah.
early 2010s, late 2000s?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that he made an appearance and somebody dropped
Yeah.
him off at like 2:30. We all happened to, the lobby was still full and he came in and it was literally like Rodney Dangerfield.
Somewhere I have an autograph from him from one of those cons that we all went to.
Yeah.
Where I
that's
got
so cool.
it was
do too.
like Trauma 20th anniversary or 30th anniversary or something like that poster that he signed. I'm sure it's in a poster tube somewhere, but
I mean, going back to what you're saying, like
I'm
even
like getting the
cons-
trauma fever now again, John, just talking about
Yeah.
it. But it wasn't this movie, to be clear.
But like to further illustrate what you're saying, even the cons like Horror Hound, he gets those trauma booths and people just show up to work it for him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's a thing. It's a while.
Yeah.
I don't know what exists of that today, honestly. Like I know they had an office in New Jersey for years and years, which is why like that Tromaville is basically
yeah,
New
it's-
Jersey.
Yeah.
That's
New
what
York.
that's what I wanted to bring up. Did you catch the one big change from the original movies at the beginning of the movie?
No.
It's
Oh,
no
they called
longer
it something
Trauma.
different.
It's Saint
Yeah.
Troma's Village.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
didn't see
Yeah.
that. Because there was a sign, but I thought it
Yeah.
said Tromaville. I don't
No,
know.
it said Saint Troma's Village.
That's funny.
That's interesting. I would love to ask someone about that someday.
There you go.
Well, from what you're saying with the licensing, because I didn't realize it was just a remake licensing. I bet you he didn't give him Tromaville.
Yeah, we own Tromaville.
You're right.
That's interesting. I could
Because
see
I
that.
got other movies there.
They also, John, do they still do Trauma Dance? Their film festival. They used to do like a traveling film festival.
Oh yeah, I remember
I
that.
have no idea.
I haven't heard of that in a long time.
I don't know. There is a Trauma Dance
Okay,
2025.
the last post on their website is Trauma Dance 2023 location announced.
I
But
guess
there,
not.
well, there's Trauma Dance 2025,
Okay.
September 15th.
Maybe their webmaster quit.
Eh. Switch hosts.
Oh yeah, there's a
you go.
post about 2025.
Mark retired from there too.
Oh boy.
We just missed it. September 13th and 14th at the Howard County Fairgrounds in West Friendship, Maryland.
Huh.
Or unless maybe they go on a tour. I don't know.
Maybe.
Interesting. Fascinating.
All
All right. Would you recommend The Toxic Avenger, Ariel?
Yeah, sure. It was fun.
John?
No.
Casey?
Yes, I think it's worth a watch.
I'm a no. I just can't.
Wow.
If this is your thing, go back and watch the other shit. Like, it's like, I don't get it.
I get that.
This is like a, La Croix, you know? It's like,
Wait.
it's like
Just
a
a whiff
faint
of the
taste of the thing
original.
you actually want.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh.
I like those though.
I didn't catch it, but looking at
You would,
IMDb,
John.
did you guys catch Lloyd?
I saw he was in it. I saw what.
Yeah,
character
I
it was,
didn't.
but
I didn't catch
clock
it.
No, I didn't.
And for
clock it
those
at
that
the
didn't
time.
know, Macon Blair is in the movie too.
Yeah. He's one of the funny. Like that's another
Yeah,
one of the
he's
funnier
hilarious.
bits. What did you
Did
do
you
to the
guys
floor?
watch like
You
past
guys
the
suck.
credit to
I
see
did
the
watch
like
the-
post credits?
Yeah,
that was so odd.
It was very weird. Yeah.
There's two scenes. There's one at the very end. There's one at like the end of the credits where he's
yeah,
making
like
grilled
a
cheese.
grilled cheese.
Yeah, that's
sandwich
the one I
That's-
watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for the Toxic Avenger. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. As John said, don't forget to check out my chat with the Dream Eater folks. That's in the feed. It's also on YouTube. And don't forget to check us out, patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror for a live stream of the show, back episodes, Slack. Just hot
All the
into
things.
spooky season here, John. It's almost over, actually.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. What are the kids being, Eric? Did we already discuss this? Do you know?
Zombies characters
Oh, I think you
from
did.
Disney's
mention this.
Zombies. Yeah, which is not as cool as it sounds, but music's okay.
One of my daughters talked my wife into being the Freaky Friday, Lindsay Lohan, and
Dude,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
my kids are
Jamie.
watching Freaky Friday all of a sudden. It must have hit Netflix, and it must just be a thing at the moment.
well, the newer one.
The new one
just
came out.
Went on to Disney Plus.
oh,
Freakier
they're watching
Friday.
the OG.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, but I would assume it's on Disney Plus. No.
Probably, if the new one is, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of comments in the YouTube tonight. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. Liz says, animatronic bird was screen time robbed.
Thank
for
you,
sure.
Liz.
I also agree.
Zach says, make sure you guys mention when Kaufman delayed your plane at Horror Hound. He sat 2 seats ahead of us going to that convention last year, and I was like, John. It's like Kaufman. And then we saw him in the airport, too.
We did.
Katie McBrenza says, listen to both interviews with BGH and More Deadly. They were great.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
More
thank
deadly.
you.
Shout
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Ariel, you had fun.
Oh, it was a great time. Yeah. Not everybody's willing to really go in depth about themes and stuff, so it's always fun when the filmmakers want to.
No, I love those guys.
Yeah.
They're good folk.
Rob Nelson, say swollen again, John.
John, you need to
Rob?
create like an ASMR like OnlyFans account where you just like say dirty words for people.
Is there money in that? 'Cause,
I don't know. I feel like there would be.
Levi, who himself is an independent filmmaker, says, "Dude's an inspiration." I agree. I had a time when I was younger when I thought I wanted to make movies. It didn't end up being what I actually wanted to do, but that stuff has always inspired me. Seeing people just go out and make their art. Rob Nelson, in the 80s, trauma movies felt dangerous, like some sort of virus from another planet. They were gory without being mean-spirited.
Yeah, you felt like you were watching something you're not supposed to watch.
You're not supposed to. Well,
Yeah.
and that's like the spirit of what the VHS movies are kind of supposed to be too. That's what you're.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to conjure, is that feeling of like imagine renting the original Toxic as a kid and being like, what? That's kind of you watch at a sleepover with your finger over the pause button in case your parents walk in.
Right.
Yeah.
It just,
Like-
blows your mind. Yeah,
and that's the
absolutely.
thing
You
where.
pause it when it's like on like a
And that's the
topless
thing
lady.
where like in a world where just polite society now is so crass, it's never gonna hit the same. Like we crossed the
Yeah.
Rubicon and like we're not coming back.
That's fair.
All right, Casey, what do we got in threads tonight?
We got a couple out there. One moment, please. One moment here. I'm pulling in Eric.
This is our typing episode.
Yes. All right, first one we got from 4 questions tonight out there on Threads. So buckle
Popping
in.
off on Threads.
It is. First up comes the Nun Club. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much mutant peen would you like to see in horror cinema going forward?
Great question.
It's like a
That was
3.
kind of funny. That was kind of
3
funny.
for me. I
There
would
was a
say.
good fart joke too. It was like
Yeah.
the name of one of the facilities was like the fart something. I don't know. I was like, okay, I like a fart joke.
You know, especially if they're doing it in the Troma spirit, more peen, more power to them. They're gonna do gross shit with it.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
let's go. All right, next up, we got our good buddy, the Jace. In a 2014 episode, you guys were asked Alien versus Predator versus Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. And the immediate response was, fuck John Cena. After a little more than a decade of hindsight, is it possible that you guys backed the wrong horse in this particular race? Also, has Schnars seen the Shrouds? And if so, thoughts?
No. But
Listen.
That is
As-
a good question.
As a person who grew up in the Attitude Era, I will never find John Cena cool or interesting in any way. He represented so much of the downfall of what made late 90s, early 2000s wrestling so good. It's just a different thing. Is he
Yeah.
right about the people themselves? Probably, yes.
yes, sure, we can grant that.
He's
I
so
haven't
good
seen
at
the Shrouds.
Peacemaker.
I should see if it's I actually should look and see if it's streaming because I should.
I
catch up.
find John
Yeah.
Cena fine as like an actor / celebrity.
I'm with Ariel. He's the Peacemaker. I'm
Yeah.
pro
he's so
John
good.
Cena.
As a person, he seems
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
always
he
have
seems
to,
like
I
a
have to
good
say
dude.
though, I always feel a little bit like on the outside looking in with like horror fans a lot of times because I swear like the Venn diagram of people who love horror and people who love wrestling is like almost a perfect circle, and I know like nothing about wrestling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say perfect circle, but you're right.
It's
There's a
It's
lot of
pretty
those.
close.
especially for male horror fans.
Well, fair, sure.
All right. Next up, speaking of Levi, our filmmaking buddy, he's here from the Well Adjusted podcast. Did anyone else grow up with Toxic Avenger action figures?
No, but like you talked about the superhero thing. That's what there was a Saturday morning cartoon called Toxic
Yeah.
Crusaders and an NES game, and that's really what it did was kind of reframe them, kind of got
Yeah.
rid of the anti-hero part, and it was just
I
like
didn't
they're
have those.
heroes and they fight pollution.
I aged out of those action figures, but I do remember them because I did watch the cartoon.
So was the cartoon geared towards kids? Like was it really
Yeah,
tame?
it was a
or-
literal
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoon,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
and then there was like an action figure line that came with it, and
It was
so
mostly
interesting
about
in hindsight.
environmental stuff. Yeah. It was an interesting take to come out of that.
Oh man, I do remember this cartoon now that I see the art.
Yeah. Okay, last one we got from a new friend of the show, Matt Lloyd Poet. This is our doozy for the night, so get ready. What's the most toxic thing you've ever had in your mouth?
oh, I have a disgusting answer for this. Anybody else have
Oh.
one?
I don't know. I want to hear that.
Eric Casey did sort of preview it, and his answer is definitely like it's
Yeah.
definitely some alcohol thing that I've consumed.
My preview answer was Everclear, like straight Everclear.
We had
Malort.
That's pretty rough.
Do you remember
Jungle juice
Malort?
out of a bathtub.
Oh, I did remember
at a frat
Malort.
Oh
party?
yeah, Ariel. That's
we
Yeah.
made the smart decision of having our first big meetup, the Milwaukee one, having trivia at not a brewery but a distillery,
Yeah.
and we're slamming absinthe for like 4 hours before we tried going to a midnight screening we were putting on.
Oh, I still make that drink they had that was the absinthe and the root beer. I still make that from time to time.
That does sound really good.
It was
All right,
good
so
stuff.
here's my story about me being an asshole teenager and getting what I deserved. So I was one day I'm just walking through the cafeteria at school, and I see somebody and they're holding a Dorito up in the air like this, like just ripe for the picking. You know what I mean? As I'm walking by, and I just my little asshole heart, I couldn't resist, and I just yoinked it and ate it and kept walking. Later was told that person likes to.
Oh,
That person
no.
likes to eat their Doritos by first licking all of the cheese off of it.
That's so foul.
And I just had to act cool, like I was like, whatever, like that.
Yeah. Pre-licked
Meanwhile,
Dorito, yum.
fully wanted to die, and still kind of want to die about
Dear
it. a little bit.
God.
That's super gross. Yeah.
I'm not
It's worse
like
than Malort.
a germaphobe at all, but that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have anything more interesting than Everclear that I could think of. I mean, I think I did pretty good about not poisoning myself growing up.
Yeah. And I've like I've eaten bugs and stuff in
Oh, shit.
like at restaurant, but like, it's
Yeah,
like,
I've eaten
if you're
weird
eating something
stuff.
at a restaurant, it's like, yeah, whatever.
I have not. I've never straight eaten like a straight bug. I've eaten cricket protein.
Yeah, like the mash or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, just
powder.
straight protein. Yeah.
Yeah, the powder stuff.
Okay.
I've eaten a number of squirrels in my time.
Really?
Poor
Yeah.
squirrels.
That's the most Midwestern shit I've ever heard.
My dad was pretty country, so
Were these hunted squirrels or
yeah.
scavenged squirrels?
No, these were hunted squirrels. My dad's rule was if we went hunting, if you shot it, you had to eat it. So things like that kept me, from us going haywire in the wood, going murder hobo in the woods. So, kept us to the the rabbits
you
and the
hunt it, you
squirrels
gotta
that
eat
we
it.
do.
All right.
Yeah.
How many things were in the woods that you could go murder?
No, that was just the general rule, though. So, so I wasn't picking off birds and stuff like that. I got in trouble once when I got my first BB gun. I shot a bird when I was probably like 9, 10, and I got the lecture. And that's when I was told, we don't shoot anything unless you're going to eat it.
They could have made you eat the bird, I guess.
Yeah, luckily they didn't.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. Eric.
All right. Love it. Let's take a look at. Zombie girl. Oh, here we go. Rachel's watching.
She must be.
I stole my roommate's fries only to realize belatedly he'd put out a cigarette in them. Wanted to die, but was too ashamed to admit it. Glad I'm finally out of the closet. I mean, like, everyone as a teenager surely picked up a beer at one point
Yeah.
that had a cigarette in it.
I was going to say, I've taken a swig out of the ashtray bottle at numerous times at parties on accident.
Gross.
It's bad.
100% I've done that.
I've
Drank
seen
bong water once on a
someone.
dare, but I don't know if that counts.
Ugh.
I've seen someone eat dip spit. Like
Yeah, I've seen
accidentally, like,
I've
a
seen
drink.
somebody do that too. That's
Yeah.
nasty.
I think I've told the story about when I drank like a cup, like not a whole solo cup, but like a substantial amount of Tabasco sauce, and it made me
Damn,
throw up.
dude.
Yeah, it was pretty
Gross.
gross.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
It was. I mean, it was for money. It was like
Oh,
sort
well,
of a
good for
dare
you.
situation. but
I
Probably
just
wasn't
assumed.
yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got. Okay. Got a lot of comments on our reel from. I even made a reel, John. You know how
I
long it's
know.
been since I did that?
We have a real social media manager.
Oh, I love this. Levi. Casey, this is very Arkansas behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. Haunted by the Horror says, this or PG Psycho Gorman. I still haven't seen this movie, but PG is the heckin' best. Literally, that's all I could think about during this movie is that if you're going to do some wacky shit, I'd much Psycho Gorman.
Yeah, it's better.
Now I'm concerned we've lost Eric.
I think
Yes.
so too. But yeah, that
I was
movie
trying
has
to
a lot
figure it
more
out
of
if
that
it was
like
me or not.
independent movie spirit too, and is like wacky and zany in ways that are just so much fun. So if it had had more of that spirit, I think Toxic Avenger would have been even better.
Well, it's why we're keeping our eye out for Deathstalker.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Eric got me fired up for Deathstalker last week.
oh, big time.
That's exciting. Did we have him
So,
permanently?
what do we think?
I don't know.
It's hard for us
That
to
Eric?
do this part of the show without Eric.
Well,
Yeah.
since he's the one reading the questions, yeah.
Maybe it's StreamYard having problems because I've been spiraling it, spinning
Damn.
out all
Did
night.
you guys stay
Probably.
connected?
Yeah.
we did.
My
but
shit
you
just
got
crashed.
kicked
All right,
out.
well, we're still streaming, so.
Yeah.
Psycho Gorman is the answer. I
Yeah,
don't know if that
we
made it
decided we
to the
loved it,
stream.
and
Okay.
yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Brian Wolford, I love that Elijah Wood has "fuck you" money from Lord of the Rings and now just does weirdo horror films.
I love
Agreed.
it.
It's the best.
It's a good gig if you can get it.
Like Ariel said, him and Daniel Radcliffe, they're both at that state in their careers, and I freaking love it. I love the weird shit. Dan Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Carson Reed Dance Fit Fun says, Eric, are you watching Michael C. Williams' TikTok series about the Blair Witch behind the scenes? No.
What? Didn't know
Yeah,
that was a
I'm not.
thing.
I interviewed him now, not quite 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. Did a big
awesome.
article for Horror Hound. I interviewed all those guys, except Heather, because that was when she was still like in hiding a little bit and not wanting to talk to
Right.
people.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was really cool. He was cool. Michael says, how many times in your life would it have been convenient to piss acid? I'm at like 3 right now. I guess I can get you out of a jam every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what jam I was ever in where that would have been the solution.
All right, our boy Levi, who's in the chat tonight. John, Levi is an indie filmmaker. We've talked about his stuff on here before.
Yeah.
I want to give him a shout out. He has a new movie out. It's called Where Is It? ? Exclamation point. It's available on YouTube. The channel is Nowhere Now Productions.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So check out Nowhere Now Productions and check out their new movie. And if you want to know how to get us to mention your short movie, you hang out with us for years and be nice and friendly, and then tell me about it.
And
when
then
we're streaming.
maybe Eric will mention it.
Just cold emailing me, not gonna work.
No, that's
He says that like it's a big challenge, but honestly, if you come and sign up for our
Yeah.
and hang out in Slack, we're a good time.
Like,
At least me and Eric are.
save yourself the typing of the generic blank email because I'm not reading it. Levi says, "Watch my film, John."
I'm on it, Levi. Nowhere now.
He says, "Where Is It?" played at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood as part of their indie film series.
Nice.
I watched his last one, or at least the last one he sent to me, and I thought it was good. And I'm very harsh on short movies, John. So
I'm aware.
I don't fuck around. All right, that's it. That's the
Oh.
last of our questions.
Phew, snuck
The
up on me.
Toxic Avenger in the books. We did. I'll tell you what. It made me happy that I got to skip Black Phone 2 this week. 'Cause
I was just about to
Yeah.
ask, are we going to Black Phone 2?
I could give less fucks about Black Phone 2. We
would
should
go
do
watch
it.
Yeah, we do need to do it.
We should do it.
I'll go.
I don't
I'm
remember
home
what you
this
guys
weekend.
thought of the first one. Did you all hate it? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
I didn't hate it as bad
did
as these
not
two
care
did,
for
but
it.
I was not in love with it.
I was livid after I watched that movie.
I was very.
And it made me more mad that so many people liked it.
I don't think I was on the show. I think I watched it after the fact and was like blown away
Yeah.
in not the way you like to be. Blown
And now
away
that
by
we're just doing
things.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm like, fuck off. Like, get out. And
yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of normies posting to him being like, yeah, I'm going to see Black Phone. And that's making me more mad. I'm like, this is for you. This isn't for me. It's bullshit.
If you only see one horror movie a year, it's probably Black Phone 2.
Random thing. I missed John a year ago when normies were going to see Terrifier 3 and losing their goddamn minds. Like that's
That
what
was
I
a
want
lot
to
of
see.
fun. Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Okay, so maybe Black Phone 2 is the
Maybe.
conclusion of that. We'll
But
figure it out.
everyone should see Dream Eater in theaters.
Yes.
today.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell people where to find it, John.
So you can go to dreameatermovie.com. But you can also just open up your Fandango app. You can open up your AMC or your Regal or your Cinemark. We love all of the B's
I
and the
have
B's
this.
and so
I have this
Harkins.
here where I'm at in like more screenings than Jimmy and Stig. So like,
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
it is in theaters. I believe in every state. It's not in We're not doing Avengers numbers here, guys. So,
But it seems like I have
I
it more than I had the other one. So
appreciate it.
that's
Well, great.
encouraging.
That's awesome.
All right. That's going to do it.
Okay.
John, the next time people hear us will be Halloween.
It'll be on Halloween. We're doing an actual show on Halloween this year.
Holy
we're
shit.
releasing it on Halloween.
Instead of doing Black Phone 2, why don't we review Romeo and Juliet again?
Stop it.
Just putting it out there.
We've never done a repeat, so should that be the one?
No better time than Halloween 2025. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for the show. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.